A brother giving evidence against his own family has told a court that he was too scared to help a man who was tortured and murdered in his home. The body of 26-year-old Michael Gilbert was found in a lagoon in Bedfordshire. Two brothers and two women deny killing him. Mike Cartwright was in Luton Crown Court today and he joins us now. Mike.
Yes, Richard Watt gave evidence today just yards away from the dock where four of his family sat, along with his girlfriend and another woman. They just watched him walk in, sit down. They listened to what he had to say. There was no major reaction from them, but we did hear a loud swear word coming from the public gallery at one stage. We think it was directed towards the witness box, and two people were asked to leave. Now, this is an artist's impression of Richard Watt giving evidence today. He admitted he'd punched and kicked and slapped, and he'd even shot Michael Gilbert, the victim, in a leg with an air rifle. But he also spoke about his brother, Robert, seen here in the stripy top. He said he'd taken part in the beatings, but he spoke mostly about James, his other brother, seen here on the far right, some of which is too disturbing to talk about. But he said James kept Michael handcuffed at night to a bed to stop him running away. He'd beat and kick him if he didn't do what he asked quick enough, be that the cooking, the cleaning or the washing. And he said at one stage he made him stand in boiling water because he hadn't washed properly enough. Now, the two brothers are on trial for murder, along with Natasha Oldfield and this woman, Nicola Roberts, Richard's girlfriend. Now, he said at the time she weighed around about 18 stone. She would make Michael Gilbert lie on his back on the living room floor, and she would jump on him with both her feet, and he would curl up in agony. When asked why he hadn't gone for help, he said he was too scared. He said he was scared what James would do to him and his mother. Back to you.
Mike, thank you.
Well, still to come in Look East, is life getting better for train passengers? Too many people are being killed and injured by mobility scooters, according to a campaign group in Essex. Scooter drivers don't have to pass a test and can't be prosecuted. Well, now the group Disability Essex is asking MPs to do something about it.
Picking up a mobility scooter means Norman Kerridge can do his shopping. He's a careful driver, has insurance and travels at a sensible speed. But he worries that other scooter users aren't so careful.
Well, it can cause serious injury. You can, knocking into somebody at even 4 miles an hour can knock them over. They could break their leg, break their arm, hit their head on the thing. And they are all fitted with a fairly simple speed control. You've only got to turn it down and it goes quite slow.
Scooters designed for pavements can go up to 4 miles an hour. On roads, it's double that speed. The police in Norfolk have told the Transport Committee they run courses for users, but have found some have serious eyesight problems.
One of the ladies who came along, she had a double cataract and she'd already gone through a plate glass window in a shop in Galston. And she was waiting for an operation, but she was still using her scooter.
Recently in Essex, a woman died when it's thought her mobility scooter fell into a river in Whittam. Disability Essex claim the Department of Transport don't realise how many fatalities and accidents there are. Now they're urging MPs for some sort of test to be put in place.
We just simply want the department to say no more new laws, just let the voluntary sector run it like they do the cycling proficiency test, and we can do that, and then the insurance can be arranged by people like Age Concern.
It's now hoped rules are tightened so scooter users like Norman are safe, as well as the people around them. Felicity Simper, BBC Look East.
A house in Suffolk has been sealed off after a man was stabbed. The 41-year-old was discovered at the house in Ixworth last night. He's seriously ill in Addenbrooke's Hospital in Cambridge. An 18-year-old has been arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. The Crown Prosecution Service will decide whether any officers will face charges after CS spray was used on a man in Essex. 3 officers were questioned by the Independent Police Complaints Commission about the incident in Brentwood. The Commission's now passed its files on the case to the CPS.
The supermarket chain Tesco, which has been fighting to build a store at Sheringham in Norfolk for 14 years, has lost the latest battle with planners. Instead, councillors have given the go-ahead for a new Waitrose, because that scheme comes with the promise of allotments and a food academy.
North Norfolk District Council. This was Builders' D-Day, Decision Day. Would Tesco finally get its way in the supermarket giant's long battle to build a new store in Sheringham? Or would councillors go for the greenhouse project backed by Waitrose? The council officers recommended approval of the Tescos scheme close to the town centre. But the councillors had other ideas and voted 11-6 in favour of the greenhouse project to be sited on land on the edge of town.
When I said, what is it about no Tesco doesn't understand, is perfectly apt. And I think the planning officers, do you know something? I don't understand how hard a town has to fight to get what it wants for its long-term benefit.
Well, very disappointing decision. I think we've seen a bit of a shambles in the council chamber this afternoon, with decisions just being plucked out of the air to refuse our application.
The council is now taking legal advice before going any further. But the sustainable greenhouse project, backed by Waitrose, with its plans for allotments and a food academy, is now in pole position.
I want to deliver something which I think will stand the test of time in our community. It's a new retail model, it's a new educational model, and they're all in a single self-contained site. And I think that's something I hope that other retailers will look at and use as a blueprint.
So Tesco have lost again, although an appeal seems likely. But what makes this interesting is that councillors have voted for a green alternative. Mike Liggins, BBC Look East, Sheringham.
Profits in the insurance company Aviva have gone up. The group, formerly known as Norwich Union, has cut nearly 11,000 jobs worldwide in the last 2 years. Operating profits were up by 3% over the last year to nearly £3.5 billion.
Companies preparing to build wind turbines off our coast got the chance to meet local suppliers today. 3,000 jobs could be created if East Anglian firms win the contracts to operate and maintain the new generation of wind farms.
Today's gathering of big hitters in the wind industry took place in this building in Lowestoft. The turbine outside wasn't working, but the people inside weren't letting that bother them. This was a chance for wind farm developers to meet suppliers.
We're forecasting at least 3,500 operations and maintenance jobs, for instance, worth at least £100 million a year. It's a huge opportunity right here on our doorstep.
A string of wind farms is heading our way. This is where consent has already been granted. The new East Anglian zone, announced in January, will be made up of hundreds of turbines, if fully developed. Scores of companies are already cashing in, providing everything from cables to bring the power ashore to diving services. One firm attending today's event was GEV. It offers inspection services for wind turbines.
At the moment, we employ between 6 and 10 staff in the offices in Great Yarmouth and Lowestoft. If we can gain some of this project work in the offshore wind farms, we'd be looking at employing up to 50 people.
There's opportunities for surveying, there's opportunities for construction, there's opportunities for ports and harbour assembly work, there's opportunities for operations and maintenance. This is a long-term prospect that will run for the next 30, 40, 50 years.
So there's plenty to look forward to, and one encouraging sign, they'd got the wind turbine to work by the time I left. Richard Bond, BBC Look East.